What is up, everybody? Doomwake here, and welcome to a very special video on the channel. I know this one's a little bit longer, but over this past weekend, I ran on my Twitch channel a subscriber tournament where it was modern, however, there were no Horizon sets legal. That is what the format that I am dubbing pure modern, although I am looking for a better name, so if you got any suggestions for a name of the format, I've had a couple ones thrown my way, but let me know in the comment section down below if you got any ideas for that, because I might make this a regular thing moving forward. This is actually the second one of these that I've done. We had one ran back in November that was won by Dredge, and it was a lot of fun to cover, and this tournament, just as much fun as the first one. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be a super regular thing, but maybe bi-monthly, maybe quarterly, because I have a blast, and I really do think that the format without the supplemental sets is really, really interesting, and also the deck that won today, I won't give any spoilers, but the deck that won today is a personal favorite of mine. So with all of that said, again, just to give you a breakdown, the format, it's basically modern with the current ban list. The only exception is that the Horizon sets are not legal, including reprints of Fire Ice, Counterspell, Lava Dart, etc., etc. And I think this is a really good experiment to see what the format would have been like if we had not had those supplemental sets introduced, which basically define the current modern format for better or worse. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's take a look and showcase you what modern would look like without the Horizon sets. You're good. All right, round number uno. Took a little bit of time here, but we have Mikey on Is It Through the Breach versus Spicy Leche on Grixis Shadow. Looks like Mikey's got, looks like we have the combo essentially Through the Breach Emrakul. This is a deck list that we have seen quite some time ago, but haven't seen in a hot minute. Actually, I got an idea. Let me put up there. And then I could put up here. Perfect. Can't select a deck in specialty. Why can't you? If your opponent, are you trying to like reach your opponent on melee? You should be able to message your opponent on melee, Italian guy. I mean, if your opponent doesn't respond in 10 minutes, then it'll be, you know, we'll call it a match loss, but we'll give everybody a couple of minutes to get there, you know. No, because it's a supplemental set. All right, what do we got here? We got a Shadow, a Shredder. Not a ton of action here from Mikey. Harvest Spire, though. 2 cards in the graveyard. Can't kill the Death Shadow. It seems like kind of a rough matchup for Mikey's side of things. The removal spells are all red-based, so think like Lightning Bolt, Harvest Spire, and none of those can really kill a Death Shadow. And now we got, you know, a 6/6 and a 1/3 Shredder, so this is, you know, almost going to be a 3-turn clock. We're going to go for a Cryptic that's likely going to get countered by, I would guess, a Stubborn Denial here. And looks like Leche's going to just let it resolve. So potentially, maybe want to save the stub for Through the Breach, assuming that, you know, we know what's going on here. Gurmag Angler, okay, so land for the win. There it is. Easy enough, Through the Breach Emrakul. There you go. And that'll be the game. Game number 1 going to Mikey. All right, we'll let these players sideboard here. All right, turn 1 from Spicy Leche. Got a Thoughtseize, gonna go ahead and take the Remand. Looks like we got some 4-drops and a couple lands here. We'll have to see if we can perhaps have a repeat of what happened game 1 with the, you know, Spicy just kind of having to tap out for a threat, not finding a Stubborn Denial. No combo pieces in hand for Mikey, though, so no Through the Breach, no Emrakul. So we will have to see if maybe that can get assembled. Gonna jam a Kroxa here. My guess is probably discarding a land. Maybe you want to get rid of one of the 4-drops, but it's pretty close. So we'll have to see what Mikey wants to decide. Close call. Is going to get rid of a land. Believing in the top of the deck will give them the 4th land. It is a 4th land, but it's a tap land, Valakut Awakening, which we might also want to save to potentially cycle away one of these cryptic commands. Again, depending on the pace of the game, how spicy Leche, how the next couple of turns develop, we'll have to decide. Looks like Leche is going to go ahead and crack a Polluted Delta. Steam Vent's going to 10, could play a 3-3 Shadow. Looks like that is going to be the play. 3-3, very important number because it both dies to Lightning Bolt and does not hold up hard Stubborn Denial. So my guess is that Leche probably has a Drown in the lockup here that would be able to counter a Bolt, be able to counter, you know, a 3 or a 4 after the fetch land. So that is most likely what's going on here. Picked up a copy of Remand. Interesting. We're not going to play the Valakut Awakening. Not sure if I love that play. With the 2 Cryptics in the Jason hand. Because you can go Valakut, still hold up Remand, then next turn, you know, start deploying the 4s. I guess, you know, if you expect your opponent to have a Drown... I don't know. It's kind of close. You know, banking on drawing a land here. You probably just want to fire off the Remand cycle. Because if you expect there to be a drown, like, you kind of assume that this Valakut Awakening is going to get drowned. That would be my guess. Although maybe Leche just is okay with letting this resolve. Oh, actually, I forgot I had this up. I forgot we had this. We got Mikey up a game. I knew I made this for a reason, you know? I did make it for a reason. Alright, looks like an Aether Gust. Interesting. Okay, so, you know, because it's Aether Gust, we could decide to top that and play it as a land. Looks like Mikey is going to go ahead and bottom, and is rewarded, picking up got a 4th land there. Now is able to sort of unlock all of the 4 drops. Now, still maybe kind of expect Leche to have at least 1 Drown in the lock in hand. Interesting, not going to go for tap on Cryptic Command. Just going to take 6. Okay. So I wonder if we're playing towards EOT Bounce Draw. This appears to be a Angler of the Gurmag variety. Okay, so I think Leche has an Angler, but didn't want to get rid of the Kroxa from the graveyard. And still wants to hold up Stub, so if you... Interesting, okay. Picked up a Through the Breach, but... Now we're in a spot that we're just dead if there's a counterspell. I kind of like firing off a Cryptic last turn. Because if you expect Leche to have the first counterspell, your Cryptic gets countered, then you can slam the second one the following turn. But now you're just dead to a single counterspell. And there's the counterspell. We will be going to game 3. Game number 3. The Decider. What we got here? Ooh, a Blood Moon here from Mikey. Little Blood Moon strategy. We got a turn 1 Relic. That's going to be pretty good against the Gurmag Anglers of the world. Yeah, F's in chat for Dom, chat. F's in chat. Sag Dom. Alright, looks like we got a Booble. 1-0, let's go. Do we just assume no one in Tourney is still listening to the stream? Maybe. Having the deck, I was having the deck properties issue too. I wasn't sure if he figured it out. Gotcha, okay. No, I think Dom specifically said he had an issue with like the client lagging or whatever. I think that's more what he was going towards. I didn't pair it. MTG Melee paired the round, okay? Alright, what do we got here from Mikey? We got an Opt to find some action. Got a Relic to clear the graveyard, so no Gurmag Anglers anytime soon. Potentially a Blood Moon. Now, that's not likely to resolve here. Looks like potentially going for an Is It Charm, just to use our mana efficiently, which I kind of like. Like, you can maybe discard the Opt to the Charm, find a land, then go snap Opt next turn. Actually gonna fight over this. Interesting, okay. Gonna switch to Yu-Gi-Oh! Rip. Rip, rip, rip. No, it was Harvey. It was Dom Harvey. Dom Harvey. All right, so we did find a land here from Mikey. Snapcaster Mage online next turn. Kind of awkward that we have this relic here, because we'd like to pop the relic and use our mana, but then our Snapcaster gets a lot worse. So, you know, I mean, I guess there's no reason to pop the relic right now, as you can kind of just... there's no cards in the graveyard, so you're not under the threat of a Gurmag Egler anytime soon. So you can kind of just let the relic chill and play for a little bit, get some value out of the Snapcaster. I'll show you the deck list after this match. If I was playing in this tournament, I would have played a Devoted Druid Tyvar deck, because I think both Tyvar and Skrelv are massive additions to that deck, and that is the deck list that I would have played for sure. All right, we got a fetch and a shock here from Leche and a 1/1 Death Shadow. Looks like a couple 1/1 Death Shadows. Okay, interesting. I have to see if Mikey can potentially find a bolt or some way to maybe answer those. Picked up a Flooded Strand. So now we can go for a Snap Opt. Alright, we can just go for the Blood Moon now, and it's guaranteed to resolve because you can pay for stub. Good turn. Very, very good turn. So all of Spicy's black and blue spells are now essentially turned off. I'm going to go ahead and tap the Relic. And also, very importantly, Blood Moon also shuts off fetch lands. So it's going to be really hard for Leche to get these shadows into relevant threat territory. And Mikey's just going to have a lot of time to basically find the other combo piece. You know, we essentially right now need land 5 and an Emrakul, and got a lot of time against a pair of 1/1s. Yeah, Spell Pierce would have beaten it, which Leche does have in their deck list, as we saw in the last game. We're going to go for a Cryptic here. Ooh, Bouncing the Shadow, which is now uncastable. Okay. Just classic Blood Moon gaming at its finest. You know, who doesn't love a Blood Moon game? Oh, Snapcaster Op trade for Death Shadow, and that, folks, is going to do it. Round number 1 going to Mikey on Through the Breach. Bailey, who is playing the Devoted Tyvar deck. This is the deck list that I would have played in the event, and up against Burn. So we'll have to see how this goes. Let me get chat up again. Well, I gotta move chat over here for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but... Alright, now, I would have to imagine that Bailey is probably unfavored against the Burn deck, but... Wouldn't Titan still just be good in this format? Yeah, I think there was 3 people that registered Titan. Burn can kill off the creatures, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Burn just has a lot of ways to remove the combo pieces. So we see, Singman going in the tank here on turn 2, wondering if we want to, fire off a Burn spell. Do we have to kill the Noble Hierarch? But yeah, this matchup is going to come down to, can Bailey establish protection like Skrelv? And, does not have a turn 1 Skrelv this game. So we will have to see. Got a couple Swiss Spears getting in the red zone here. And Bailey has picked up a copy of Post-Mortem Lunge. Actually, why don't I just do it like this? I can just make this bigger. Nope, that doesn't work. Never mind. Alright, can't do that. Can do it this way, maybe? Yeah, we can do it that way, and then I can still see chat. Cool. Alright. I can see you, chat. And then maybe to make it look a little cleaner, I can do like a color background here. can put up this, which we are currently 0 and 0. Let me change this real quick. So 0, 0. Just get this updated for y'all. One laner mirror. Yeah, we got both players on a one laner here. All right, a Seal of Fire. The Seal of Orichalcos. All right, give me a second. Let me actually copy this. I'm going to put a little bit of a background here. Just give me... Whoa, I did not want to do that. Color block under window capture. I'm just trying to... Put this over here. Just kind of hide the background, you know? There. There we go. It's a little scuffed, but, you know. It's a little scuffed. Look, I'm not the best at production values, okay? It's not my strong suit. It's not my strong suit. Good enough, though. Good enough. Can you make this smaller, actually? See? That looks good. There. It doesn't look that bad. It would be easier if Bailey was the one who had challenged, but I forgot to mention that going forward. All right, into the games. What did I miss? Oh, hey, this is lethal. We have infinite mana. So we got, you know, Singman eventually finding a second land, went for a Swiss Spear Seal of Fire. Bailey did have the Postmortem Lunge to give the Devoted Druid haste, had the Vizier, and that is all she wrote. That is game number 1, going to our Devoted Druid player. All right, so we got Bailey up a game here. Burn player on the play, leading off on a Swiss Spear. Bailey's hand looks decent. Got a 1-drop, got a Devoted Druid, Fiend Artisan, Skyclave Apparition if the bird lives, although the bird is very unlikely to live. Maybe the levels are off for the music. Well, I turned the music down specifically today because, you know, tournaments and stuff. So I wanted to turn the music down a little bit just for today. So the music is a little lower. That was intentional. Maybe the levels are off, yeah. I don't know if it's just like I have to put the mic closer to my face the whole time. Could we just do the whole tournament like this? All right, what do we got? Seal of Fire. Both the bird plays Seal of Fire. So interesting there. The reason you would do that is potentially a Chandra's Incinerator next turn, which Singman does have 4 copies of. This is Incinerator Burn. Normally you would want to, you know, Burn player would want to deal more damage to face, but you want to have the Seal of Fire in play so you have the 2 damage on board for the Incinerator next turn. So. Pirate Radio, yeah, exactly. So we will have to see if there is a Chandra's Incinerator in our future. I would have to guess there is based on this play. What does Bailey want to do with his turn? Now, my guess is you maybe want to go towards the... Okay, we're going to go for the Devoted Druid first. Now, you could deploy the Stoneforge and try to play towards the... Batterskull. But maybe Bailey... Because there isn't the second combo piece in hand, maybe Bailey values the Stoneforge Mystic more than the Devoted Druid, so wants to use the Devoted Druid as bait for the Seal of Fire to then potentially slam the Stoneforge next turn, go for the Batterskull, and hope that goes uncontested. But yeah, looks like my guess here is we very likely are going to see a Chandra's Incinerator. We're going to Lava Spike pre-combat attack for 2. You can crack the Seal of Fire, then play the Incinerator for 1. Sag.js, but glad that you get to watch more. Awesome. All right, Swiss Spear attacking. Don't think we're going to be blocking here, if I had to guess. But we will see. Oh, interesting. We are blocking. So correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Incinerator is only non-combat damage, right? We're going to find out because it's going to go on the stack. Yeah, it's non-combat damage. Okay. So I wonder why. I wonder what the block there is for. Interesting. I guess maybe so you can have a bigger Fiend Artisan? Is that the idea? Not sure. So we're going to block and then go for Stoneforge. Because the other thing I was thinking that if you assume that Singman doesn't have a burn spell, or like say you hope that Singman doesn't have a burn spell in hand, if you don't block with Devoted Druid, Singman probably has to use the Seal Fire on the Devoted Druid, and then potentially might not be able to cast Incinerator. But with the block there, you're allowing the Seal Fire to go upstairs, or yeah, you're allowing the Seal Fire to go upstairs because you don't need to save the Seal Fire for the Druid, which then allows Singman to cast the Incinerator. So, kind of an interesting line there. And this is, I will say, this is a card I have not seen in quite some time, but kind of a banger, if I'm being honest. Alright, so we are going upstairs. So this is basically, the cool thing about this card is it effectively turns all of your burn spells into Searing Blazes. So it gets kind of out of hand against the creature decks. Bailey is going to keep this. It's a bit slow, but turn 2 Stoneforge, pretty good against the burn deck. That can get Batterskull. Again, no Horizon, so this is a format that does not have Cauldron Complete, but we got the OG Stoneforge target in Batterskull. Alright, we got a Seal of Fire here from Singman. Second land and a Stoneforge. Now, with the Seal of Fire face up, likely doesn't want to get Batterskull. We'll have to see what we want to go for here. Never mind, we are going to go for Batterskull. So the one nice thing about that, because you know your opponent has Chandra's Incinerator, this kind of prevents the line, like, Singman is forced to Seal of Fire the Stoneforge, so it prevents the line of going, Seal of Fire upstairs, Lava Spike for 3 points, then the Incinerator for 1 mana. So it does prevent that line, so it kind of gets a little bit of pressure off of you. And you have the Tyvar. No black mana currently, but if BCS does find black mana, you could go play Tyvar, uptick, next turn, down tick, or land forward, down tick, put Stoneforge back, and because the Tyvar gives it haste, you can then immediately activate the Stoneforge. So actually going to just fire off a Searing Blaze, keeping the Seal of Fire in play. Potentially maybe setting up for a Incinerator on a following turn. Yeah, that's the reason I love Tyvar so much in this deck. We've seen it in current Modern as well, kind of these Devoted Druid decks adapting Tyvar, and no different here. Tyvar is really, really good in these decks. So we're going to deploy a Vizier of Remedies and a Luxier, kind of the leftovers, as it were. But we got 3 mana on a somewhat healthy life total. We can maybe play towards hardcasting this Batterskull. Plechow got lost at 2 quick 2 to burn. Feels bad, man. Besage the Seal. Besage the Seal is a line. It's not a line that I would necessarily recommend, but it is one of the lines of all time. Alright, we will see how Singman wants to play this one. So, Luxier not terribly threatening when there's not a Devoted Druid in play. Basically, it doesn't do all that much without Druid. In theory, could maybe equip to a Tyvar or something, but... Alright, that's the text in this card. The creature gets +1/+1 on Trish counter, isn't a planeswalker, and is a creature... Yeah, so you could, like, if you draw Black Source, play Tyvar, equip with Luxier, make a 5/5, something like that, but... Yeah, having no black for Tyvar is a little awkward. Awesome, King Zeke. Yeah, I've been having a great time doing dive down stuff. The dive down guys are great. So it looks like we are going to go for an Incinerator. Because you're not terribly afraid of dying from here. From Singman's perspective, the only thing I could think of is... So there's 4 mana, so you could go Well, I guess even just 3 mana. You could go Devoted Druid for 2 mana. No, you would need an additional mana. Devoted Druid for 2, put 2 counters on the Devoted Druid to put it in the graveyard, Postmortem lunge it back into play, and then you'd have the mana to go off. But from this position, not a ton going on here. And we're holding back the Vizier, which means we want to hold up a blocker just in case there's a Goblin Guide. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had quite enough to go off on that one turn, Bajan, because I actually hadn't seen the Imprint Gigantoline before, but... Alright, what do we got? Incinerator. Incinerator after a Lightning Bolt upstairs, so 3 mana Incinerator, 1 card in hand, 8 life, and that's a Finale of Devastation off the top. Do we have a way to get lethal? No, because we have to tap the lair. Do we have a way to get lethal here? So you can go Finale for 2, but if you Finale for 2, you can't make white mana to play Stoneforge. Oh, it also doesn't have haste. What am I saying? Yeah, it doesn't have haste. So we can Finale for a Devoted Druid. Cannot activate it this turn, though. I imagine that's probably what we're going for. Yeah, so we're going to get the Devoted Druid. And then we're just going to pray. Hope that we get a turn here. You know, if Singman does have 2 bricks in hand, or, well, brick in hand, brick for draw step. If there's no burn spells, this is potentially lethal with the Lair of the Hydra. Could make, oh yeah, the Stoneforge can just get the longbow too, so... Yeah, if Singman's on all air... Could potentially win. Not likely, but got nothing else to do. Got a Devoted Druid and a Prayer. Yep, not blocking Giga Chad going to 2. And drumroll, please. Do we have a burn spell? That's a land. Pause champ. Pause champ. Okay. Are we hard casting an Incinerator? Oh. This appears to be a hard, just, you know, doing it the hard way. 6 mana, 6/6. And if this is an Incinerator, that's going to be the game. Wow, crazy. Fading a draw step. Wild. Absolutely wild. That's what you call living on the edge. Too many Incinerators. If one of those Incinerators was a burn spell, that would have been enough, and that will do it. BCS advancing to 2-0. Very, very pog. All right, so chat, round number 3, we have on the bottom of your screen, Mikey H on Through the Breach combo, and on the top of your screen, Dom playing Amulet. Let's do it. All right, so Dom on the play has a Beseiju, a Grazer, and a Bounce Land. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we also have a Phyrexia set box on the line for first place. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but Nilly came to chat and very graciously offered to put in the prize pool a Phyrexia set box shipped anywhere in the US, so that is another prize to the event as well, so that'll be first place. Can't forget about that. Shoutouts again to Prowess Gaming, DR Nilly, much appreciated. Thank you very, very much for the very generous prizes. Appreciate that, buddy. I have a custom playmat service I recommend. No, I don't really use custom playmats. Alright, so we do have an Amulet here. Playing a T-West, gonna untap the land. Excuse me. I can actually make this smaller, right? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Cool. Alright, so in hand for Mikey, we do have the combination. What's my playmat of choice? I have the what we call the Forbidden playmat. The one from that TCG con with all the exceptional artwork on it. I don't know exactly what it's called, but that's the playmat that I like to use. Second Amulet here for Dom. Looks like potentially no bounce land. Yeah, the CGU mat, that's the one. Love that. I cannot get enough of that playmat. It's so good. Alright, what do we pick up here? A Steam Vents. It's going to be land number 4. And we, knowing Amulet, we do know that there is likely no interaction for the combo, so I'm pretty sure Mikey is just good to go. I'm going to do this here so we can see the whole hand. Alright, so there's a Primeval Titan. That's going to get remanded. And that should be all she wrote here. Going to go ahead and untap, go land 5, slam Breach. Hypothetically. Now, I've seen stranger things, but Dom could sacrifice everything but one Amulet and maybe have enough resources to go off. Unlikely, but, we'll have to see if Dom wants to play it out. Yeah, which season of Stranger Things? Alright, Dom not gonna play it out. I don't blame him. Cool, good to go. Alright, looks like Mikey has taken a mulligan. We get a turn 1 Amulet here from Dom. Mycosynth Gardens, a card that was not printed yet with the last Pure Modern tournament, so nice new addition to the Amulet decks. Probably why we see 3 copies of Amulet in this event. Only 24 players, so relatively small pool. Given 3 copies of Amulet's a pretty big percentage of the field. So, yeah, and Mycosynth Gardens is just so cracked in this deck. Even without Urza Saga, you still just have so much access to Amulet with Amulet itself, Mycosynth Gardens, etc., etc. Yeah, it does have Aether Gust, which even plays through Cavern of Souls, if Dom were to have that. Yeah, there's probably also an Atraxa through the Breach deck, and maybe you pair that with, like, Gorios or something, but... No, this is Karate Dom, Dominic. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce Dom's last name, but... Dom P. Dom Harvey was registered for the event, but he said he was having some issues with Magic Online. Ooh, a little Tireless Tracker action. Yeah. That is. I think it's like Paulircio. I don't want to ruin Dom's name, but I think it's how you pronounce it, Paulircio. So Gust and Tireless Tracker has been put on top. So now, notably with Tireless Tracker, there's not a bounce land, so we can't play the tracker into a land. We have to play the land first and then play the tracker. But you could even potentially see, like, bounce land, make some mana, play tracker, then Grazer to replay the bounce land, depending on if Dom has a Grazer in hand. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder if we're maybe supposed to let the tracker go there. We didn't have the Harvest Pyre at the time, but, is the and this is the worry. I was going to say, is the Tireless Tracker that threatening to the point where you would want to use the Gust there, but... Yeah, not sure. That was calculate, or maybe a tough decision there for Mikey. Potentially could have saved the Gust for this Titan. Maybe gets buried by the tracker. Although, now that we have perfect information, knew that he drew the Harvest Pyre, might have been a different game if we had saved that Gust. But yeah, I'm going to assume this is lethal. We do have Harvest Pyre for Dryad, which maybe could break something up, but unlikely to matter. Yeah, assuming Dom does have... Well, it's only 16, right? How do we get to 20? Didn't copy Strongholds. Yeah, I guess the double strike land gets us to 16. Yeah, the Stronghold was already in play. He might not have the double strike land. I want to take a look at the deck list. Let's pull up Dom's deck list here real quick. Dom does does have the Sun Home. He typed in chat, said he misclicked on the Sun Home. Okay, all right. I thought there was a Sun Home in there somewhere, but. And honestly, Mikey does. All right, game 3. I always forget to put this up. Damn. I keep forgetting to put this up. Chat, you gotta remind me. All right, game 3. I was like, I made this yesterday specifically for this, and then I keep forgetting to use it. Game 3. This hand is really good for Mikey here. Now, you know, a little expensive cards. We got a Cryptic, Adjacent, a Through the Breach, but Gust into Blood Moon is pretty good. Now, taking a look at Dom's deck list here, we'll see if we have any outs to... I'm assuming there are outs to the Blood Moon. Obviously, Boseiju is likely an option. 2 copies of Boseiju, and then in the sideboard, we have... I guess... No, Explosives can't really do it. 2 more Boseijus. So 4 Boseijus after sideboarding. Yeah, the full 4 copies. Well, you can't really explode a Blood Moon, because you can only get to green-red, right? I believe Dom was playing Explore. Yeah, 4 Explorers. I guess Dryad, yeah, that's true. You could go Dryad and then pop the EN3. Alright, picked up a couple of lands here from Mikey. Now, Mikey actually not going to play the Blood Moon here. Going to hold up the Aether Gust. I wonder... Okay, there's a Dryad. Do we want to gust that is the question. It's awkward because if you gust this, Dom probably puts it on top, and then after the Blood Moon resolves... Oh, I think he didn't want to cast Blood Moon because he didn't want to give up 2nd blue mana for the Jace. So you gust this, fetch Steam Vents. I guess you have Island in hand. Interesting. I guess maybe the plan is, like, gust this, get Steam Vents, untap, play Island, pass Cryptic the Dryad, and then hope to peel Emrakul. The Stroke is a good pickup, too, for sure. So now we have effectively two answers to a Titan still. Okay, we're going to jam the Blood Moon, which is awkward because we know about the Dryad. Oh, Dryad was put on the bottom. Okay, worth noting, Dryad was put on the bottom. So now that you've seen that the Dryad is put on the bottom, then you maybe know the coast is clear for that Blood Moon. Yeah. 2nd Dryad. Okay, so that's going to turn on lands for Dom here. Only 1 card, and currently access to 5 mana, so still unable to cast a Titan, unless there's a land drawn. No Emrakul yet here for Mikey, but now we get to hold up Cryptic Command and Disdainful Stroke, so this might be a tough one here for Dom. Yeah, that Islet is such a massive top deck, being able to turn the Cryptic Command on. Now the question is here, do you bounce the Dryad? Probably not. Probably want to save the Cryptic. You can just kind of bide your time until you find the Emrakul. You got a lot of time. You know you're not dying anytime soon with the Stroke and the Cryptic. Okay, gonna jam Jace here, which I kind of like because you're still protected against Titan with the Stroke. So I kind of like this. Do you unsummon? No, honestly, I think you might just Brainstorm. I think I like that. You just want to dig deeper, and there's the Emrakul. So now you have protection against the Titan, and you have Through the Breach Emrakul next turn, so... Should be good to go. Plussing is not bad either, because you know that Dom likely doesn't have a land in hand, so you can just kind of put... Well, the thing about plussing is you're almost forced to put lands in the bottom. Although maybe you want Dom to draw a Titan. I'm not really sure here. Maybe you wanted to just resolve a Titan. I guess you have the Stroke anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's a good point. Does Dom have Pact of Negation? Dom has a Pact of Negation in the sideboard, which was maybe brought in. Looks like does not have it, and there's an Emrakul, and that is going to do it. Mikey advances to 3-0. Congratulations. All right, Ashiok playing some Electronic Tron. Electronic Tron. Love to see it. All right, what do we got? We got a Chalice. Chalice good against Burn. Looks like we are going to keep this, likely keeping, I would imagine you just put back the second Reshaper and just keep 3 lands Reshaper Chalice, I guess. Seems pretty good to me. We have 5 cards, but we have the most powerful card in Magic, which is Mana Reshaper. Nobody has... See, I can confirm that nobody has ever defeated a turn 2 Mana Reshaper in the history of Magic, so the game is basically over at this point. Like, we might as well just go to the next game, you know? Let's maybe get a land off this Goblin Guide. We got another Mana Reshaper. Say it ain't so. The game is now over. Yeah, we're just gonna jam the Chalice. Jam the Chalice here. If Ashiok rips the tower, I'm calling bullshit. If there's a tower off this Goblin Guide, I'm calling hacks. Actual MTGO hacks. Expedition map. Nice Chalice. Alright, so we get to play a couple Mana Reshapers here. We'll have to see if Singman maybe has a 2-drop here that he wants to deploy. Although, looking at Singman's deck, ooh, Skewer, okay, that's a card we can cast through a Chalice. And a Riftbolt, okay, alright. So still putting up a fight here. Now, if we take a look at Singman's deck list, see what we're working with here. As far as castable spells under a Chalice, we have 4 Eidolon, 4 Chandra's Incinerator. That card still can be cast. Notably, a 6/6 Trample really lines up reasonably well against Mana Reshaper. 4 Riftbolt, 4 Skewer, 4 Boros Charm, and 1 Searing Blaze. Those are the castable spells that we're looking at here. Looks like we found a tower, okay, which is good, but only having the Mana Reshaper left. Oh, we actually Riftbolted the Reshaper, okay. So that means we don't have land Incinerator. And revealed a Karn Silex. Karn Silex off of that. That's I'm gonna have to read this one. Hopefully I actually cast it this turn. Because I wanna read this one. I forgot what this one does. So ETB tapped. Players can't pay life to cast spells. Which means cannot crack fetch lands, and then you can pay X tap to exile, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less, activate as a sorcery. So that can actually blow up the Goblin Guide. But that would also blow up the Chalice, so probably doesn't want to do that. We got a Boros Charm end step, 7 life. Also no 3rd land from Singman, potentially all spells in hand. Scalding Tarn, dead. Right? Silex shuts off fetch lands. Can't pay life to cast spells or to activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Yeah, okay. Drew Smashy Smash. Okay, so we're smashing. So we'd probably just attack with Smasher, hold back the Reshaper. Got Singman on a little bit of a clock here. Turn 1 Dark Ritual and Legacy. Oh no. Dark Ritual Karn Silex is not the new Legacy tech. Alright, no cards in here for Ashiok. No cards in hand, I should say. Does have a Chalice and a Karn Silex. Notably, this can only be activated at sorcery speed, so it cannot hold, or cannot activate that on Singman's turn. But again, this Scalding Tarn being turned off means that something like Searing Blaze, actually, if Singman does not have a land, unable to be turned on with the landfall, because you can't crack the Scalding Tarn. Why does Ashiok not play Ashioks? I don't know. Mono Black Tron win. Alright, big draw step. That is a brick. But we do have Singman on a clock here with this Reality Smasher. Pretty significant clock. Again, castable spells for Singman, Skewer, Riftbolt, Boros Charm, Eidolon, and the 1 copy of Searing Blaze. And Incinerator, but we're pretty far away from Incinerator at this point. Yeah, remember, this is the 4 Chandra's Incinerator version of Burn. Stuff like Seal of Fire, the Riftbolts, etc., etc. But this Chalice shutting off a good portion of Singman's deck. Picked up a Warping Whale, Pretty good draw step, because that can actually hold up to, you can just kind of hold that to counter a sorcery spell. So that can counter a Skewer or a Rift Bolt. Cannot counter Boros Charm. So I think the only way Singman can get out of this is double Boros Charm here, because that beats the Warping Wail. I don't think there's anything else. So you trade here, go to 3. See what the Reshaper hits. Reshaper hits Thought-Knot Seer. That's a pretty good one. Although, if there's a Boros Charm in hand, cast that, rip a Boros Charm. Up. Alrighty. Chat, drum roll, please. We got a 2-outer. Or, I guess, have land in hand, top deck Searing Blaze also does it. Alright, big draw step, big draw step, big draw step. What do we got? Drum roll, please. No way. We're just showing off the 1-drops in the Chalice. That would have been crazy. That would have been wild. Had the Warping Wail anyways. Yeah, we're doing a Magic Online Chalice check. Alright, and that is game number 1 going to Ashiok. What do we got from Ashiok? Likely not a keep. Yeah, we're going to ship that. Definitely going to ship this one. Looking for a bunch of mana, ideally some way to set up Tron, or a turn 2 Chalice like we saw last game. It's kind of the best starts here for Ashiok. I guess you could play Ardent Plea, yeah. But the thing about Ardent Plea is it doesn't match a single color with either Outburst or Dread. So you'd still have to be 4 colors at that point, right? If you went like Ardent Plea, Violent Outburst, you'd still have to be 4 colors. Is that a keep? Looks like we are keeping it. This is a Relic of Progenitus. I wonder why he brought that in. Maybe he just had some cards he wanted to cut. Interesting. Putting back the power plant. I guess you realize that you're too far away from Tron. You definitely want to keep the Temple, because your best case scenario with this hand is Temple, Thought-Knot Seer. So I like that. We got a Swiss Spear here from Singman. That's a second Thought-Knot Seer. If Ashiok can find a Temple, this might be kind of rough for Singman, but... Sylex Tribal. That's true, we have a Filigree Sylex and a Karn Sylex. I wonder if Ashiok had cut some of the Karns during sideboarding, under the assumption that it's too slow, and maybe wanted to board in some of his more high-value Karn targets in the matchup. I could see that. I mean, the Relic at least cycles. It's not, you know, it's obviously not great, but it does cycle. Alright, we got an attack here from the Swift Spear. We have a second land. I would assume suspending a Rift Bolt here, because otherwise we would have played a spell pre-combat. Yeah, there's the Rift Bolt. So this is going to be a big turn sequence here. Okay, so there's a map from Ashiok. So I would imagine deploying the Sylex here. Yep, makes sense. It's kind of awkward, though, because the Sylex is going to kill the Relic if you kill the Swiss Spear. And then we'll have to see if Singman... Big turn for Singman here to see if he has a Chandra's Incinerator, which can be cast for 3 mana, even with no other burn spell. If there is a 1-mana burn spell, it could potentially be cast for 1 mana. Yeah, I kind of think that we wanted to keep the... I kind of agree with you that we wanted to keep the land over the Relic. Especially if your plan is to pop the Sylex on 1. Like, you probably... If your plan is to curve Relic into Sylex and then pop it on 3 after playing a Thought-Knot Seer, you just don't have time to sack the Relic. Alright, no Incinerator. That's massive. And we did find a land for Ashiok. So, my guess is you play the Thought-Knot Seer first. Just do a little peek and see what's going on over there. Now, check and see if Singman has Path to Exile in his sideboard. Let's pull that up. There are 3 paths. It looks like there is one of them here. Okay. That's massive. Now, the Sylex is going to kill the Swift Spear, but maybe Singman can have, draws a card off the Thought-Knots here. We know there are likely two spells in hand, because we know at least one of them's a spell. Didn't play a land last turn. Okay, so exiled a... maybe had the... Oh, okay, so we must have had the land last turn, and we drew the Incinerator off of the Thought-Knots here, because otherwise we could have cast the Incinerator there, right? Because we had the Riftbolt and the Skewer. That's unfortunate. So held the land for Searing Blaze, and then must have drawn the Incinerator off of the Thought-Knots here. Alright, we got land number 3 here. Got another Thought-Knots here to follow up. Cannot hold up Warping Whale. We'll have to see if maybe a Boros Charm was drawn here. Looks like just a Sacred Foundry. Okay. Might just want to, like, protect information, because maybe Ashiok makes a different play based on the number of unknown cards that Sigmund has in hand. So it might just be for information purposes. This is round 4. Guess I could put that at the bottom. I'll do that real quick. Round 4. Yeah. Whoops. Stay. Looks good to me. Round 4. Alright, Boros Charm to 1. Knock the top of the deck. Will we find a burn spell? Drum roll. I'm guessing that we're probably not slow rolling. Oh. Alright, we just had to click on the right modes. Boros Charm for game. We are going to game number 3. Boros Charm being an instant not able to be countered by Warping Whale. We're going to take some legal game actions. And Boros Charm resolves. Anybody? Alright, Boros Charm has resolved. Game number 3. Alright, we got Bird on a Mulda 6, and Ashiok on kind of a crazy hand here. Turn 2 Chalice, turn 3 Thought-Knots here. This one's gonna be tough for our Burn player. Let's see how this one plays out. Yeah, especially with the second mine in hand as the Tron land, I think you're... Well, I mean, at the same time, there's almost never a world where even, like, if I drew the Temple, I think I would still play Chalice over Thought-Knots here, right? Even if you drew the Temple there, I still think it's probably better to play the Chalice. So maybe that's what he's thinking. So maybe it just doesn't matter either way. Jabber, again, thank you for the subs, buddy. Very, very kind of you. Have a great day. Thank you for participating. Alright, we got a Thought-Knots here. Let's take a look and see what outs in Singman's deck do we have. We have 3 Wear Tears in the sideboard, so we'll have to see if we have one of those available. No, Wear Tear, not a Horizons card. Alright, so Ashiok taking a look at... I'll show you the hand. 2 Boros Charms, Incinerator, Path, Skewer, and a Mountain is the hand here for Singman. No smashes, no, just Wear Tears. We have taken the... What did we take? We took the Incinerator, which makes sense. And we have Path, Charm, Charm, Mountain, Skewer. Alright, Charm has been cast. So still 2 castable spells through the Chalice. Unable to path the Thought-Knots here, but... Alright, plays the Mountain. So we know about 3 of the 4 cards in Sigman's hand. Again, still 2 castable spells through the Chalice, so maybe not the end of the world. I'm trying to think of what the best draw step here for Sigman would be. 7 damage in hand. Yeah, I mean, even if you top deck Incinerator, you're still kind of far from it. You can Boros Charm to make it... Well, I guess if you have... Like, okay, if you draw Incinerator and then next turn draw land, you can go 2 mana Charm, 2 mana Incinerator. That could potentially be a way out of this. Yeah, I guess the second Chalice probably just goes on 2, right? The Spectacle get countered? No, if you Spectacle Skewer, the mana value is still 3. So. Maybe Eidolon. Yeah, I don't know. This second Chalice on 2 is going to be really rough. That might just be close to lights out. So we're going to go ahead and hard cast the Skewer. Did not mean to do that. Whoops. I have to do this. Alright, so there is the land. Yeah, I'm guessing you just cast the Chalice, because now Chalice on 1 and 2, like, what does Sigman even have at this point? So, castable spells through a Chalice on 1 and 2. You have Skewer the Critics and Riftbolt, that's it. Yeah, we're off it. Bang. Alright, what do we got? This is, again, round number 5. I'm gonna fix everything here. So we got this, which is 0-0. And then we got, let me change this to round 5. Last round of Swiss before we cut the top 8. Alright, let's do it. So on the bottom of your screen, we have what we call the Ice 9 Special. This is a Boros land destruction strategy featuring a copy of, yes, that is the correct number, 15 effective copies of Stone Rain. Got Suppression Field here, also turning off activated abilities or making them cost more. And then on the top of your screen, we have an Amulet deck, which typically likes to have a lot of lands in play. So this one might be a tough one. This one might be a tough one here for our Amulet player, but we'll see how the match plays out. Alright, pretty good start here for Amulet. Does have the Grazer into a bounce land, into a Dryad, so getting a lot of lands into play, which is very important when you're playing against the Stone Rain deck. That is quite the large mouse cursor, yeah. Alright, Flagstones, Molten Rain, going after a bounce lane here. That always feels pretty good. Worth noting, Suppression Field does have some relevant text. It is going to tax specifically Teleria West, I think is the most important one. And also Slayer Stronghold could also come up. Now, one thing we got is that a Magus of the Tabernacle? Oh no. Chat, look away. Chat, look away. That is a I guess you don't really care that much about the Grazer, but you might. Well, actually, is this even that bad? Because you can just go upkeep, use the scouts, and then just sacrifice them. It's honestly probably not even that bad. Oh, no, because the Suppression Field. Yeah, Suppression Field turning off Scout, or making Scout cost 2. So this is kind of awkward. Yeah, the Suppression Field making the Scout cost more mana is super awkward. Okay, picked up a copy of Molten Rain. Looks like we're going to go towards that. I wonder if that was better than just deploying the Magus there. Pay for Dryad Call today. Yeah, I guess, like, you just kill the 2 scouts. Come on, attack with the Grazer. I mean, chat wants to see a Grazer attack. Come on, Def Jad. Chat wants to see a Grazer attack. Oh, that's a Thoughts of Ruin. The awkward part is you're cutting yourself off of some mana. So you can blow up Def Jad's 3 lands. But, I mean, this is just a 4-turn clock, right? And you would have 2 lands left over, then play the Cataract's Return for 3. I guess what you can do is you can cast Thoughts of Ruin for 3, sacrifice the Flagstones, get a land, play Cataracts, hope to rip land 4 to play the Magus next turn. That might be the plan. Looks like we're gonna go for Dark Dwellers here, which I guess makes sense too, because that does also, you know, kind of tax Def Chat's mana, but also provides a blocker. You're waiting on Karate Dom. I think Karate Dom said he was like double or triple queuing, if I recall correctly. Have you messaged him, Shane? All right. So what do we see develop here? Nothing for Def Chad in melee. Okay. I will message him real quick here. Well, I can't message him in Discord because that messes up the screen share. Let me message him. Yo, actually, can you just message Karate Dub and tell him the run's up? Can you do that for me? It'd be very nice if you could do that. All right, we got the Magus. Magus of the Tabernacle, because now that the Dark Dwellers has prevented the attacks from happening, Magus is going to go ahead and mess with Def Jet's mana. Now, I imagine you probably just pay for the Dryad and let the rest die. So you can activate one Scout here, which is not too bad. Okay, so Growth Chamber, pick up a land. I guess you can pay for... You can go tap Growth Chamber, activate Scout, put the land into play, and then use that, because this puts the land into play untapped, right? So you could do that, where you go tap the Scout, use 2, put the land into play, and then just pay for the Dryad and 1 Scout, maybe? I don't know. Good? Okay, we're good. Cool. Yeah, haven't seen Thoughts of Ruin in quite some time. It's been a lot. I used to play that card in Standard back in the day. Probably one of the more overhyped cards when it was first spoiled back in Saviors. But it was kind of a banger. Was kind of a banger. Oh yeah, send it to me. DM it to me on Twitter, Da Vinci. I'll take a look after. I'm busy right now, but I'll look at it after if you want to DM it to me on Twitter. All right, what do we got here? We got a Boom Bust. Mr. Boom Bustic. We're gonna boom. Okay. Wonder could we have... Oh, no, because we had to tap 2 to pay for the Magus and the Dark Dwellers, so we couldn't actually cast Thoughts of Ruin there. Okay, so we're just going to pay for all 3. Play a land. This is such a weird game. Such a strange game. Where, like, we have just enough lands to kind of do something, but it's... Ah, man, this is just a strange game. We got a Valakut Awakening. Do a stream after the tourney. No, I'll probably call it after that. Because by the time the tourney's over, it'll probably be like, what, 5-6 hours in? Because I've already been live for almost 4 hours, so... I think that'll be a good enough stream. Although, okay, we'll say this. If the tournament... Well, the tournament might be over before the Pioneer Challenge. Okay, we'll try and stream the Pioneer Challenge at 5 then. Because the tournament should be over before the Pio Challenge starts. Hopefully. We'll see what happens, though. If I don't get into the Pioneer Challenge, then I'll probably just end the stream. But we'll see. I don't know if I'll play boats. I'll play something different. We could play, like, the Golgari mid-range deck. Alright, what has developed here? So, looks like we just want to play the Valakut Awakening. Kind of makes sense. I wouldn't play Lotus. Could play Neoform. Gonna put back the Ghostly Prison to cycle. Okay, so now we can go pay for 2 creatures, draw Thoughts of Ruin for 2, which is not awful, but there are 5 lands on the opposing side of the battlefield. Fleet Chow is the champion already. Fleet Chow's going for that title. Going for... Also, I forgot to mention, shout out to DR Nilly, by the way, who has decided to add a Phyrexia. I don't know if it was a set booster or a draft booster, but we're adding an entire Phyrexia booster box to the first place prize. So if you win the event, I think you said he ships within the US. So first place in the event is also going to get a Phyrexia booster box. Did he say set booster? Okay. Hog. Well, yeah, first place is going to get a Phyrexia set booster box. Metagame is really different in pure modern. Yeah, it's just Ice 9, you know, just Ice 9 doing Ice 9 things. Classic Ice 9. Magus of the Tabernacle Gaming. All right, so we paid for 3 creatures. This is a weird game. I wonder... Question. I wonder why we're not attacking with the Goblin Dark Dwellers. Would that be a good attack? Or no? Is that a bad attack? Triple block happens, you trade Dark Dwellers for Dryad. Yeah, it's like not the best. Yeah, different from the last one. Yeah, the last one was like a lot of Shadow, a lot of Dredge, couple Amulet. This time there's, I think, the most played decks were, I want to say 3 Amulet, 3 Burn, 2 Mill, and then everything else was a one of. Yeah, it's a good attack now that you drew the Bolt. Like, now the attack is crazy, right? Because you just triple block and you blow up Def Jet out. So now the attack looks a lot more appealing. I mean, you're the one who chose not to register Martyr Brock. You also chose not to register Thraben Inspector, so I don't know if we should allow Plea Chow into the next one. If you're gonna not play Thraben Inspector. I feel betrayed. Thoughts of Ruin. It's gonna blow up 2 lands, which is going to slow Def Jet down a little bit. Still has enough to pay for all the creatures, though. I wonder if we were supposed to attack first, and then if a triple block happens, you bolt one of the scouts. Okay, we're just going to not attack here, which is fine, too. I'm having a blast. I think this format seems sweet. And again, you know, like I said, this is a lot of people are playing. They're playing a lot of their pet decks. They're not necessarily playing what they would select in the most competitive environment. But even at the end of the day, it's just like it's just a good exercise. You know, it's a lot of fun. That's mostly what it's here for. It's not necessarily like to prove, hey, this is what the modern metagame would look like if this wasn't the case. It's more so just to have fun, and that's all I'm trying to have fun because. I don't have fun playing regular Modern, and this is way more fun to me, so. Kilgore Trout, thank you for the Twitch Prime, I appreciate that. Ice Knight would play this deck in Vintage, yeah. Thank you for the Prime, Kilgore, appreciate you. Name something that feels like Modern but could stand alone, thoughts on Classic. Isn't Classic already a format? Or used to be a format? Am I thinking of something else? Thank you, Kilgore. I had a lot of fun. I love the dive down. I love doing those episodes. That's what it was. MTGO, yeah. All right, Molten Rain puts you to 6. Just love blowing up the lands. What's up, Seth? How you doing, buddy? Seth, what would you have played at this event? I'm curious. Da Vinci, isn't this just like stock Grixis Atraxa? People have played this deck before. I think there's like maybe some small differences, but yeah, I've seen this deck list. I've actually played like almost this exact deck list before. It's a good deck. I still don't know if I like it more than Rakdos, but Oh yeah, you sent me the the Planeswalker deck that you would have played. Yeah, this game is basically over. I think we've officially whittled down enough resources from Def Jad. We call this format contemporary instead. It's not a terrible idea. Yeah, I remember you sent me a Planeswalker deck. I don't know if that had Wreck in it, but all right. Game 1 goes to Ice Nine. Yeah, we have Valakut Awakening, Cataract's Boom Bust. You have to keep this, right? Just draw a third land. Yeah, you definitely have to keep this and just hope to draw a third land. Is that a Mana Tithe? That is a Mana Tithe. So yeah, turn two Boom Bust, and if we draw a land, we're just in the Hurt Locker. I think that's a land. It's advantage, right? So I guess we're debating on whether or not we want to hold up Mana Tithe. I think you have to play the Valakut Awakening. Yeah, I think I like that. Because if you hold up Mana Tithe and don't draw another untap lane, it's really awkward. And there's not much that you can Mana Tithe on turn 2 anyways, so I think this makes sense. Yeah, it's a big mouse cursor, okay, let's just say that. Portable Hole, okay, that one takes care of Amulet. Go after the Stronghold, right? Going after the Valakut, probably fine too. Alright, chat, the pain train has begun. Def Jad is now on the pain train. We got a lot of Stone Rains. Oh boy. Alright, I think this one's going to be over pretty quickly. This one might not last as long as our first game. Pain train, folks. Pain train. Just light them up. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't really matter which land we get, because they're all dead anyways. You can just kind of pick one at random. They're all dead. Just take them all. Take all your lands and just put them in the graveyard. You thought you wanted to have lands this game? I got some bad news for you. I got some bad news. No lands for you this game. This is what we in the business like to call content. Content. Bang. Just get them out of here. Dryad, no land drop? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay. Now you can even bolt the Tribe Scout. Although you don't even care, because you know that Def Jad doesn't have a land in hand. Right? What's the point of bolting? I'd probably just hold the Mana Tithe. Yeah. Praying for Armageddon in MH3. Oh! We drew a Cavern, but we named Giant. Which makes sense. Alright, Sakura Tribe Scout. We're going to have to hope that these 2/4s and 1/1s can go the distance. That is the one thing I will say about Ice Nine decks is if you can assemble a motley crew of creatures, that is your best path to victory. Just random creatures. Doesn't matter like what size they are, doesn't matter what stats they are, nothing matters. Just random creatures that can deal damage. That's how you beat Ice Nine. Okay, well. Now we could Stone Rain and probably oust the Dryad. Oh no, we used the Stone Rain. We have Molten Rain left. Okay. Gotcha. So we cannot do that. Yeah, we got a Mons Goblin Raiders. Yeah, I forgot that we used the Stone Rain last turn, so we don't have... Because we have the 2 Cataracts, we can't go red, red, white. Okay, found a land. There's still hope. Is it hope or is it cope? I don't know. You tell me, chat. Hope or cope? No more bangs? Oh! Is Storm Breath considered a bang? Bang! Lone Crusader is Giga-based? Why is Lone Crusader Giga-based? They let you die to Bitter Blossom instead of attacking? As it should be, Pete. As it should be. This is what you get for playing Bitter Blossom. Okay, that's a land. Is it time for the Stormfather? Found an answer to Colossadon Yearling. What about Mon's Goblin Raiders? How do we beat that one? All right, we found we have acquired a win condition. That's another thing about Ice 9 decks. They don't usually play, like, I've seen Ice 9 decks that have 0 creatures in them. And I think the only win condition is just maybe they play like 1 Dark Dwellers. This one at least is like 2 Magus, 2 Dark Dwellers, Storm Breath in the board. There's a lot more creatures in this one, but I think you wanted Storm Breath because it has pro white. You expect a lot of paths. That's probably why you'd play Storm Breath. Because, you know, no Solitude, no Prismatic. I think Path is going to be more played than normal. Yeah, the win condition is Flawless Victory. Your opponent just have no permanents in play, and they're just like, yeah, alright, you win. I'm off it. I mean, funny enough, Def Chad did get all the way to 6 lands or 5 lands this game. If last card's Titan and Def Chad rips a land, this game is surprisingly not over. Oh, but the Mana Tithe, right? Because we blew up the cavern. Never mind. Yeah, I responded to it, Seth. Attack for 5, go to 7. Do we... No, I guess we're just a little bit short of winning this race. Yeah, it would have to be another... I don't think Def Chat has a second cavern is the issue. Because the cavern got blown up earlier. Actually, land would have been lethal, right? Yeah, land would have been lethal there for Ice 9. Okay, portable hold that guy. Attack for 4, hold up Mana Tithe. Let's see if Def Chat has a second cavern. I don't think there is a second cavern. There is... There's one in the sideboard. I highly doubt you'd... Well, you could theoretically bring in the cavern, assuming that... Drew the Sanctuary. Well, again... Oh, actually has the Dryad, so he's going to go for the Titan. It's going to get Mana Tithed! Oh man, this one's going to Twitter. We're going to Twitter with this one, chat. We are going to Twitter with that one. That is gross. And Mana Tithe on Primeval Titan will seal the deal. So, we have a bit of an interesting hand here from Def Chad. Turn 1, turn Timber Symbiosis. Turn 1, turn Timber Symbiosis will allow us to deploy Amulet. Then we have a couple of bounce lands here. Vesuva, not really helpful with this hand. We'll go Amulet, and then we do have Castle and Titan as well, though, so looking for potentially a second copy of Amulet, maybe something like a Dryad would be a really good draw here. Have to see what Def Chat picks up. Definitely not looking for another bounce land, so a little bit of a slow start here. Going to deploy the Castle, which does make sense. Now, this is, what, a turn 4 Titan, assuming nothing else happens? Turn 4 Titan. Is that good enough against turn 3 Tron? We will have to see. It's kind of like turn 4 Tron, because you have to crack the map on... You have to crack the map there. So it's not really turn 3 Tron. It's like turn 3 Tron with suspend 1, kind of. Mycosynth Gardens. So now we get to do some math. So if you play Gardens, this is just Titan, right? Because you can go play Gardens. Oh no, you don't have a second land drop, right? I was gonna say you can play Gardens, use the Turn Timber to copy the Amulet, but then you can't play the Bounce Land, which would allow you to castle into Titan. So you can't do that this turn. It's also really awkward that Def Jad drew the Boros Garrison, because you also can't search for the Garrison off of the Titan. So this is going to be a weird one. This is definitely going to be a weird one. Karn. It's a good one for Ashiok. Probably getting a bridge here if I had to guess. That would be my assumption. Got coding. Huh, interesting. Is there no bridge? Take a look at Ashiok's sideboard here. Curious to see if we have bridge. Ashiok does have a bridge. Interesting. So we chose to go for coding over bridge. And Def Jad, I don't think... only has one Vesuva. Does not have a second Vesuva. This is going to be weird. Got the unbeatable Matter Reshaper. Nobody has ever beaten that card in the history of Modern. Can confirm. Third Amulet. Does that get us anywhere? Oh, I see what Ashiok's doing here. So if Def Jad plays a bounce land, you can respond to the triggers and make the bounce land an artifact. No, this is actually a really heads-up play by Ashiok. Because if you respond to the untap triggers and you make the land an artifact, it doesn't make any mana. Like, you can't tap it for mana. This is a really heads-up play by Ashiok. And Def Jad, recognizing that, is going to deploy the castle here. Yeah. Very, very heads-up play. Yep, so that's going to take Def Jad's entire turn. And even with a bounce land next turn, is still not going to be able to deploy the Titan. Because we can do that. We can just run the same play back. Here, I'll give you the link to the deck list otter. This is the link to the tournament. And all the deck lists are public, so it should be good. So we have some choices here from Ashiok as to what to get from the sideboard with our Karn. So options include, we got a lot of them. Torp Orb, Tormod Script, Pithing Needle, Liquid Metal Coating, which we've already gotten, Ensnaring Bridge, Walking Ballista, Sundering Titan, Wormcoil Engine, Cityscape Leveler, Sky Sovereign, Filigree Silex, Grafdigger's Cage, Relic of Progenitus, and the Stone Brain. My guess is you're probably going towards the Stone Brain here, right? That would be my assumption. Just Stone Brain out the Titans, and maybe that's good enough? Can I read the sideboard again? No. Too many one-ofs. You can check the link, though. You can look at the deck list. You missed it, too? Rip. See, Ride or Die wasn't joking, though, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just want a Stone Brain here. I mean, again, I don't know what's in Ashiok's hand, but... Oh, where'd the... Pretty sure we just want a Stone Brain. Yeah, this is the deck list that we're looking at, just to give you an idea. There's the Stone Brain that we talked about, all the other options available for Ashiok. So, I mean, like I said, my guess is probably Stone Brain, but... Yeah, so as far as colored sources, there is a swamp for Ashiok that they can get off of Expedition Map. Yeah, Brainstone, illegal. Stone Brain, though, we're okay with that one. Yeah, Torporp's not too bad too. I mean, I would imagine that Stonebrain is just game over, right? We're getting Leveler. Interesting. So we're just going to run back the same play we did last turn. Leveler, blow up an Amulet, and then hold up the coding. I mean, honestly, this is probably fine too. Tapped Power Stone with Amulet, Pog. Tapped Power Stone, jump scare. The synergies. This is what you get with Pure Modern. It was tapped. It was tapped, Ashiok, okay? I'm just reading what the card says. So yeah, no, I keep forgetting this. Hold on. Why does it keeps not showing the screen for some reason? All right. Anyways, we're back here. That's not really an interesting draw step here, right? Because again, you play the Growth Chamber. Ashiok just this has the same play available with the Liquid Metal Coating on the Simic Growth Chamber. And yeah, we're just not really getting anywhere. Yep, okay, that's going to be enough. And then the Cityscape Leveler just kind of cleans everything up. Very well played by Ashiok there. We got, for an opener, not a terrible hand. We got a land, we got a scout, we got an amulet, we got a bounce land. Most of what we're looking for here. Can't be that bad. So I'm wondering, I'm trying to think of the line here. So you can go turn 1, Boseiju Scout. And then you can go turn 2, tap the Boseiju, play Amulet, play the bounce land, 2 mana, Scout in the bounce land, that's 4 mana, Azusa, 1 floating, bounce, that's 5? I count 5 mana. Is that, did I do my math right, chat? I'm a little rusty on my Amulet math, but I think I count 5 mana on turn 2. So second Amulet would do it. Second Amulet would give us a turn 2 Titan. How about a Growth Chamber? Not quite. So yeah, let's run through the math again. Boseiju, Amulet, bounce land, 2 mana. Pick up the bounce land, put the bounce land into play off Scout, that's 4 mana. Azusa, 1 floating, bounce land, 5 mana. So, looks like only 5 mana here. So I'm guessing what we want to do is we probably want to end on Azusa Scout bounce land and then in hand Boseiju second bounce land. That would be my guess. That's likely where I would want to end up. So you basically just go Azusa pass here. I guess you're probably okay deploying the Boseiju because you can always pick it up with the Growth Chamber. It's probably a fine play. Yeah, because you can't report on melee. You can just post it in chat BCS. That's fine. Because we're not using melee. We're just doing this the hard way. Let me write that down so I remember. All right, we're doing this the old school way. Bailey wins 2-1. Cool. Then we'll do the bracket after. Double Dismember. Well, I imagine if you had a Dismember, you probably would have killed the Azusa on your own turn, right? So this game is probably over. Do we have a path to actual lethal this turn? Maybe not actual lethal, but effective lethal. Oh, I guess you can double Dismember the Titan. But yeah, we are probably done here. Also, if we're cool, I'm gonna wait till after the event to do prizes, so I can kind of just trade one by one. So I'll give out the prizes after the event. after we're done. I think. Well, I don't know. People, we could just do trading between rounds. It's probably fine. No, I didn't make a link for the prize pool. First place is 50 treasure chest, a set booster box of Phyrexia, and VIP/mod in my channel. Second place is 30 chests. Third, fourth is 15 chests, and 5 through 8 is 5 chests. Alright, it's a lot of damage. Hasty Titan getting in there. Go ahead and pick up some lands off of the Titan. So, Gruul Turf untapped. We can get the Sun home, but that's only 17 damage, so cannot quite get lethal. So yeah, we're just going to get a bounce land and go ahead and pick up this Boseiju. And we can even have double Boseiju up. I don't really think there's any way for Ashiok to beat double Boseiju, because there's no All's Dust in the list. So this one should probably be wrapped up. But we shall see. I guess, yeah, there's really no way for you to get to a needle and a bridge. That's like the only way, though. Okay. Yeah, you still can't get to needle and bridge, though, is the issue. Yeah, there's almost no way out of this. Alright, that'll do it. What do we got here from our Amulet player? A lot of Amulets, no bounce lands. Do we keep this? It's a bit risky. It is a bit risky. So what's the upside? Assuming you draw a bounce land, what is the best scenario for this hand? Amulet on 1, Amulet on 2, turn 3 to 4. I guess you can turn 3 Colossus if you draw a bounce land, right? I don't know if this hand's a keep or not. This one's close. This is why I don't play Amulet, because I would have no idea what to do with this hand. I think it's a... I really don't know. Maybe my instinct is mulligan. I'm really not sure, though. You would keep? I think it's a turn 3 Colossus. It's like probably good enough on the draw, right? Yeah, exactly. Well, turn 3 Colossus if you draw a bounce land. I don't think you can turn Timber, right? Because in order to turn Timber, you have to... Like, the only way you get the 7 mana on turn 3 with the bounce land is through the castle. And the castle doesn't cast the turn Timber. Love the activate relic with no cards in graveyard. Thank you, Ashiok. We love to see it. Alright. Ashiok has mulligan to 6. Does have 2 Tron lands. May have a third. Picked up a Sakura Tribe Scout. That would have been good last turn. Not as good this turn. Oh, I always do this. I don't know why it keeps happening. I think it's when I switch windows. Alright. Sakura Tribe Scout and an Amulet. So we'll have to see if we can find an Urza's Tower. Okay, Warping Well for Tribe Scout. Could potentially cut us off of some mana. Big draw stop here for Def Chat. Really looking for a bounce land. Yeah, that sounds right. Grazer here. Not exactly what we're looking for. And also no bounce land to pick up the T-West. Yeah, Tron and no play. Likely just kept a hand... Maybe kept a hand that just has a ton of mana sources. Like, had a hand that had Natty Tron but no payoff and just looking for a payoff. Okay, we have a Dryad. Let's see what else we got. Nothing else. Gonna hold on to the Grazer, which makes sense if you draw a bounce land, you'd rather have more mana for the Grazer. Dismember. Which member? That's also a good point. Ashiok's hand could be all reactive cards. Dismembers, Warping Whale, stuff like that. Ooh, that's a cheeky Blast Zone. That's a... Oh, God, Blast Zone Karn? That turn probably could not have been better for Ashiok. That was certainly one of the turns of all time. And we chose Liquid Metal Coating. Yeah, I don't really think there's a way out of this for Def Jad now. Now that we have been put in the Hurt Locker with Coating. Think that we're probably done here. Could even just get the Cityscape Leveler. Is it leveling time? It's coating time, okay. Go after the... Is it better to go after the castle or the T-West? It's probably close. Okay. Probably fine either way. You're kind of... Well, I mean, it's probably not enough. It is nice that you can maybe kill the coating with it, but yeah, it's just definitely not going to be enough. Well, if you blow up the T-West instead of the castle, even if the Titan is drawn, there's not enough mana, right? Because even if Def Jad has a land, you still don't have enough to activate the castle. What's the point? It's probably fine. I don't think it matters. I think it's one of those things where the game is probably over either way. Sundering Titan. Gonna blow up your own swamp, Ashiok? -1 Swamp Keck W. I like how he played the swamp first too. He could have played the swamp after the fact, right? Oh no, he played the swamp last turn, yeah. Yeah, 8 mana Stone Rain. I mean, 8 mana Stone Rain and put a 7/10 into play is kind of nice. Alright, we found a bounce land. Oh, right, the swamp was from Boseiju. Yeah, okay. You're right. I think this is what the kids call garbage time. Garbage time. Minus and Karn. Chose Cityscape Leveler. Get that Grazer out of here. That Grazer, get it out of here. Take that Grazer and put it in the trash. Get it out of here. Alright, 13. We have achieved lethal damage. This counts? It kind of counts. The Grazer, you ever just Cityscape Leveler blow up a Grazer before? Get out. Mill versus Mill versus Devoted combo. This is kind of a probably not a great matchup for Bailey. You know, Bailey's deck is really trying to get the combo of Devoted Druid plus Vizier of Remedy set up. Not the best against somebody that's milling you and trying to surgical extraction you. So, you know, this could be kind of a rough pairing here for Bailey, but we'll have to see how it plays out. You got a turn 1 Crab versus a turn 1 Skrelv, whose 1-drop is better. Fiend Artisan, not a bad draw step here. We can hold back the Skrelv to protect the Fiend Artisan. Mill is mostly full power. The only thing you lose is the cycling spell. Yeah, Lunge, that's a good... you do bring up a very good point. Postmortem Lunge is probably very good in this matchup, although a little bit more awkward if you're getting surgical, right? So you gotta be a little bit careful of that. You get a Tyvar. Okay. That one's actually pretty good if there's no... And we do have a Devoted Druid. There's no surgical here. We also have I just realized we have a 9/9 Feed Artisan. I didn't even realize that. It had not... Oh, wait, is this lethal? No, we don't have enough to equip the Druid, right? Yeah, we're a little bit short on mana. It hadn't registered to me at first that Fiend Artisan is just fucking massive against Mill. It's just a 2-mana 8/8. Okay, I might have been off on my read here. Wait, where'd the screen share go? What happened? Did I mess something up? What did I do? Did I screw something up, chat? Hold please. What did I do? Did I do something wrong? Alright, hold on. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to try and get the window capture back up. I don't know what I did wrong, but... Discord. I don't know what I did wrong, but... Boop, 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 boop. Oh, there was just no cards in hand. Okay, no, I didn't do anything wrong. There was just no cards in hand. I was worried because I thought I had the hand. Whoops. I thought I lost Bailey's hand cam. It's like, nope, he's just hellbent. Okay. Whoops. All right, we didn't miss anything. I was like, how is he hellbent? Then I realized Bailey did Mold of 5. Okay, so we went for a Fatal Push. Skrelv protected that, I think is what happened. Or Fatal Push on Skrelv. What happened? Fatal Push on Skrelv, and then we responded and activate. Okay, yeah, we responded and activate Skrelv. Gotcha. So we have a Fiend Artisan that currently is protected. If Odorous does have another copy of Fatal Push, you could see that in the upkeep, because there is no longer protection. Glimpse the Unthinkable. That's not enough cards, though, and we do have Devoted Druid Luxior. Now we have to see, did we mill the Ballista? Ballista has been milled. Oh, I messed up the cam's a little off. Let me fix that. So there's a Vizier of Remedies, which we didn't need because we have the Luxior to go off anyways. Huh. Interesting. So where do we go from here? So this is infinite mana with the Luxior. We can make an infinite Hydra, but there's 2 blockers, right? What am I missing? So infinite Hydra. Do we have Duskwatch still in deck? We did not mill the Duskwatch. So hypothetically, you could Fiend Artisan for... Oh no, because then you'd have to sack the Druid, right? Well, you could make infinite mana and then Artisan for Duskwatch? Druid Artisan? Where do you get the 3rd lethal attacker from? The Devoted Druid doesn't get pumped infinite power. Oh, you can sack the lair. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, so you can sack the lair. This gets... What does this get? This gets Duskwatch? Oh, this gets Skrelv, and then Skrelv can activate because of the Tyvar. That is a sick line. Okay, I forgot. I missed that. Awesome. Awesome line from Bailey here. Awesome, awesome line. Very, very sick line. Yeah, because the Skrelv effectively has haste because of the Tyvar. Very, very sick line. Good line. There we go, and that's game 1 going to Bailey. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a bad matchup for a Devoted Druid player until I realized that Fiend Artisan is just an absolute brick house in this matchup. Handcam online. All right, what do we got? We got a Veil, a Skyclave, and a Finale. Yeah, we're going to crack a fetch here, opening ourselves up to the Trap of the Archive, but we do have Veil of Summer. So, interesting sequencing. You want to do this because if you fetch... So there's 2 reasons you want to do this. One, if you fetch main phase, it makes your opponent less likely to draw Archive Trap. So you're basically giving them 1 less draw step to find it. And then you want to fetch for an untapped land, so if your opponent does have an Archive Trap, then you can Veil. So that's kind of the idea behind that little sequence there. Write that one down, chat. Noted. Okay, second crab here. I wonder, is there any chance that it was worth failing there in response to the crab on the stack? Because if you veil here, Odorous can crack the fetch in response. Where if you veil with the crab on the stack, you get milled for nothing this turn. So I wonder if that was potentially better. Like, if you're gonna veil anyways, I think it's better to veil with the crab on the stack. Yes, thank you! Somebody finally attacked with the crab. I've been waiting for it the entire tournament. I think Odorous should win by default just by attacking with the crab. They just don't crack the fetch. Yeah, I guess that's true. So this way you're forcing them to crack the fetch. That's fair. Alright, we got a Shockland here. Bailey's hand, BCS's hand looking pretty slow here. Not a lot going on. Kept kind of a slow one with multiple Skyclaves. Now, potentially you might get the Skyclave a crab. We'll have to see if maybe Odorous has Drown. Yeah, Ragavan would have ended this game already. Or a Fury, kill both crabs. Picked up a Skrelv here. Probably has to go towards the Skyclave, though, I think. You see a Drown here. Now, the one good news for the little bit of good news here for BCS is that Odorous only has one card left. So, gonna land, gonna mill 6, go to 30 cards, and we'll see what the last card is. Is it a Visions? It always is. I know this is basically the same experience with Murktide players, how they always draw Expressive. Mill players always have this card as their last card. I don't know if if y'all feel the same way, but that's my mill experience. Alright, we get a little Fetch Shock action here from Bailey. Going to go Skyclave into Skrelv. Just not a lot of action left going on. Now, the one thing I will say, Finale does... Well, I was going to say Finale gets cards from the graveyard, but there's a Soul Guide Lantern in play, so... I think I'm probably going to call the stream after this. I got some stuff to do tonight. I've already been live for about 5 hours. By the time this tournament's over, it'll be 6 hours, so I'll probably... I'll probably just call the stream after this. Because if I play the challenge, I'm going to stream for like 11 hours. I don't want to go that far. It's just too much. All right, and that is game number 2 going to our mill player. Game number 3. This is the tiebreaker. Is Bailey going to take a mulligan? What are we looking at here? We are looking at a couple lands, a Skrelv, a Stoneforge, and a Devoted Druid. This hand's got to be good, right? Yeah, this hand's got to be good. Yep, so we can go turn 1 Skrelv, turn 2 Devoted Druid. Mill player going to mulligan to 5 cards. For sure, yeah, I'll let you know. I don't know how often I want to do it. I don't want people to get burnt out off of it, So I feel like monthly. I feel like if we do it monthly, people might get burnt out of it. So I was thinking bi-monthly might be a little bit better. That makes sense. Like every other month, I think is pretty good. You lost. You lost to Ashiok? Are we going to really let Ashiok win this tournament and get Mod back? No, surely no, right? We can't let Ashiok win this tournament. Dear God. Dear God. Chat, you want Ashiok as a mod? Oh, no. Why did I do this to myself? Alright, anyways. Bailey, what do we got here? Oh, somebody is trading me a request. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, this is for... I'm with you. Alright, so for... What did we say for top 4? 15, right? Did I say 15? Let me make sure I get this right. Yeah, 15 chests. 15 chesties. Let's do this off screen. Bang. Thank you for participating, King Opponers. Hope you had a great time. Congratulations on the top 4. And let us get back to the match. Alright, what are we missing here? What are we missing? I can get this all on. Just change this and do that. There we go. Cool. Perfect. Alright, Skrelv into Devoted Druid. Pretty nice start here for BCS. Needs to find the other combo piece. Does have Stoneforge for Luxior, but I don't believe has enough mana to set that up this turn. Right, that's kind of what I was thinking. Ooh, Surgical on Finale. Okay. So we got Stoneforge for Luxior. I guess if you Stoneforge for Luxior, you don't have an infinite mana payoff currently, right? 47 game points to donate to unmodding Ashiok. Oh no, not this again. No, we won't do that again. If Ashiok gets mod, he can have mod fair and square. I won't remove it. Unless he, you know, does something he probably shouldn't, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does. So, to be fair. But you gotta be careful, okay, Ashiok? You gotta be, you can't, like, you gotta be cool about it. You know what I mean? Don't abuse your powers. Yeah, the one strike rule. With great power comes great irresponsibility. Really? Just Giga Chat Hardcast Batterskull? Love it. We could have Stoneforge for Luxior here, but I guess we can just do that next turn. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to get a call with the winner regardless. Like, the win, I wanted to have a winner's interview. But you can't get me canceled, okay? You gotta promise, if you win and I talk to you on stream, you cannot get me canceled. Okay. Pinky promise. We're just saying hypotheticals. I'm not even sure if either of these matchups are good for Ashiok, to be fair, but... Alright, who else got paid? King of Pwners got paid. King of Pwners paid. You don't have good matchups. That's the thing about Tron. There are good and good matchups. All right, let's get back to the match here. We have drawn a Fiend Artisan. We are Stoneforge going for the longest of bows. Interesting. Don't want to go for the Luxior here. Okay. We're just going beatdown plan. I like it. So we go slam in with the Germ, put Odorous to 11, and we have lethal in play. This is just lethal. Right? 5 from the Fiend Artisan, 4 from the Germ, 1 from the Mystic, that's 10, and then a point from the Longbow. That is the 11th point of damage. Baleful Mastery against Fiend Artisan. Bailey has picked up a Catacombs and a Birds of Paradise. Take a draw step first. That is the Luxior. Do we have enough mana? I don't think we do. We do have enough mana, right? Because it's 3 to equip. Is that the game? Oh, we can also... Yeah. That should be enough, right? Luxior, tap 3, equip, infinite mana, longbow, kill you. That's it. That is going to be the game. So we now have our finals. Eldrazi, Tron. You opened up an Endurance? Awesome, there you go. So I would say the event was pretty fruitful for you, King Opponers. Hashtag always open chests. Yeah, I know, right? That's it. We have our finals. Ashiok is colluding in chat. Can we disqualify Ashiok? Chat, Ashiok is colluding. What's he saying? He said, "Hear me out, you scoop, and I won't ban you." Sounds like collusion to me. Well, I was asking chat's opinion, you know. All right, we got a mulligan from Ashiok. Looks like BCS also mulliganing. What do we got here? Got some temples, a power plant, a tower. There's a lot of mana, but not a lot to do with the mana. Kind of think Ashiok correctly mulliganing needs to really find. The sand's not that great either. This is kind of what we talked about. This matchup seems really bad for Ashiok. Like, not a ton of interaction. I think really just has to try to mulligan towards Tron and a Karn. Turn 2 Mana Reshaper. Turn 2 Mat, turn 3 Mat. I don't think that's good enough in a matchup like this, though, you know? I don't think that is good enough in this particular matchup. Like, Bailey's deck is really fast. Like, this hand is kind of reasonable because there's a dismember, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like, you probably have to keep this hand, right? Oh, we mulled the 4? Yeah, this matchup seems kind of rough for Ashiok. Also, notably, no copies of... What's that card called? What's the 7? All's Dust. All's Dust. No copies of All's Dust, so BCS does not have to play around that. Got a turn 1 Skrelv. Perfect against this Dismember. Yeah, this is just a green-white toxic deck. No big deal. Green-white toxic deck. Oh, if you want links for the deck list, Zipa, if you can just type !pure modern, and that should bring you to the tournament page, which you should be able to find all the deck lists on. Alright, we got a Devoted Druid Dismember on the Skrelv, because we can't kill the Devoted Druid with the Skrelv in play, and we will have to see if BCS has the combo, and lo and behold, there it is. Let's see if we got a payoff. We have achieved infinite mana. Do we have a payoff? I'm going to go ahead and say that we probably have a payoff. And again, this is part of why the matchup is so bad from Ashiok's perspective. Chalice doesn't do all that much. You have very, very limited interaction with something like Dismember, really the only thing that's kind of stopping, really the only interaction that Ashiok has. I guess you could say Warping Wail, which also kills both of these creatures, but yeah, there's limited interaction. Chalice not very good. Your, Matter Reshaper beatdown plan is not very good either. Finale for 15. No Warping Wails here. Alright, there it is, Ballista. We could even go attack with Devoted Druid and then ping. That is game number 1. Going to our Devoted Druid player. And that hand's a stinker. Is this hand... It's not a lot going on. I mean, I guess you have Filigree Silex and Dismember. Chalice may be good. You probably have to keep this hand. Put back second Ballista, I would assume. It was a 0/0 Ballista? It was actually a 15/15 Ballista. From the Pump on Finale. Yeah, my guess is you probably have to put back the second Ballista here and just go... Ooh, we're going to put back Chalice. I mean, I kind of understand that because Chalice doesn't do a lot in this matchup. So maybe the plan is you just want to try and fight over the Mana Dorks as much as possible with the second Ballista. Yeah, or Skrelv, because you have to have a fight over Skrelv here. So I guess the question is, do you Dismember this now? Probably because you want to play the Silex next turn. And with the Skrelv in play, you know that your Dismember's not really killing much else anyways. So it's probably just best to use your mana here. Okay, Smash is a good draw step. That is definitely help. We can find a land here. We can have the Silex in play and potentially also have a Smasher. Let's see if we got a Druid. No Druid. Okay, that's a very, very big sign of reprieve from Ashiok here. Really wants a land. That's probably the next best thing. Not quite a land, but it's pretty good. Let's see if we're taking a look at here. I'll pull up the Discord. We are looking at a hand of Luxior, Skyclave, Tyvar, Postmortem Lunge, and Horizon Canopy. What are we taking here? My guess is you probably want to take the Skyclave because it kills your Thought-Knots here. That's my assumption. No, I know. I was reading it out. Yeah, does go ahead and take the Skyclave. This is the rest of BCS's hand. That is a Thoughtseize bug. Thoughtseize bug or Thought Not bug? MTGO Premium, Bailey says. I know, right? Did you really think we weren't going to draw the Skyclave there? It is a known bug. It is a known bug. It's a feature, not a bug. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, Ashiok's still kind of in this game if he can find a land. Okay, not exactly. It's not bad, though, because you can dismember the Skyclave and maybe blow out the Fiend Artisan in combat. I guess the problem with that line is... I guess you can, like, Postmortem Lunge the Skyclave to kill the Silex. I'm not even sure if that's a good line, but... Okay, we do kind of get a nice little 2-for-1 here. Kill the Skyclave, block the Fiend Artisan. Not bad. And then, I mean, potentially if Ashiok finds a land here, you can just go smash or attack for 9. That's half of Bailey's life total. Not a bad setup. And it's nice for Ashiok because you just get to keep the Silex in play on 2, which prevents you from dying to the Devoted Druid combo. Yeah, that was a really big swing for Ashiok there. Gonna go with a Luxior. Ventus, thank you for the 4 months. Spam those emotes. Thank you very, very much for the 4 months of support. BCS going to go with a Tyvar here. Wonder if we're going to get back Fiend Artisan, perhaps? It's awkward because you have the Silex on 2. But maybe you just have to force the action on the Silex. Really awkward spot here for BCS. Because if you get back a 2, maybe you get back Stoneforge? What if the line is Stoneforge for Batterskull and then hope that, like, if Bailey has a land? Because we know there's one unknown card that we don't know about in Bailey's hand. Yeah, I think I like that. Play towards Batterskull. Fiend Artisan's a 5/5. Well, the Silex is on 2, is the issue. So if you get back Artisan, you just pop the Silex on 2. Nah, I don't want to play the Pioneer Challenge. I'd be streaming too long if I did that. I got some stuff to do tonight too. I'm gonna start editing. I'm gonna start editing this to go on YouTube. I want to edit it and try to get it out before like the next couple of days. So I'm gonna work on this tonight. Okay, we're gonna slam the Tyvar. Wonder if we see a chump block here. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a chump block. Ashiok picked up a map. That's probably one of the worst draws, because that isn't even a land to cast Smasher next turn. Okay, we are going to pop the Silex to kill the Tyvar. I think I watched a couple backup matches, King of Poners. Before game 1, no third land. Game 2, yeah. Alright, here's the Batter Skull. Well, we'll still put some of the backups on YouTube. I'll go through the VOD. I'll think of some stuff. I'll even do like a little meta breakdown too. What happened to Burn? What happened to the real hero? Burn has gotten dispatched. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. Alright, we got a postmortem lunge left over. Look, Sven, you get it. We can't let people know the true power of Goblin Guide, okay? We can't let the secret out. It's for our own good. Alright, getting in here with Batterskull. Really unfortunate for Ashiok, unable to find that third land to be able to deploy the Smasher. And now we're kind of trying to compete with this Batterskull that we can probably just recast over and over again. That's a Devoted Druid. And equipping with Luxior. And I mean, that is infinite mana next turn. Actually lethal, right? Because we can postmortem lunge the Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, postmortem lunge the Stoneforge, get Viridian Longbow, make infinite mana, Longbow, game. So that should be the game. Ashiok drawing another Reality Smasher. Anyone register Goblin Guide today? They did, yeah. There were 3 burn players. I know, right? The second Reality Smasher. Wait, what happened? Oh, the second Ballista. I see. Okay. I missed that. Second Ballista. That we had to do that to kill the Druid. Yep, okay. Second Druid, though. Second Druid. And again, last card, Postmortem Lunge. We know that should be game. Cracked map, get a land. These Smashers that we can't cast. Yikes. That should do it. Postmortem Lunge for Stoneforge, assuming that the... Oh, wait, the Longbow's in the graveyard. I just realized that. Never mind. We don't have a path to lethal this turn, right? Because the Longbow got milled, unfortunately, off of the Tyvar. So we have infinite mana, but what can we do with it? We can get back... I don't know what we can do with it. Yeah, I didn't realize that the Longbow already got milled. Ashiok at 10. Okay, so you can lunge the Fiend Artisan. Oh my god, lunge Fiend Artisan, equip Batterskull, exactly 10? No shot! That's a... Whoo, boy, that is a sick end to the game. That is a way to end the tournament. That was sick.